So you've gone through the actual job site visits. So what's the process now to getting the roof on? So once the inspection is done, usually go down, the insurance adjuster meets with the homeowner and they kind of usually tell them, sometimes they tell them what they saw, sometimes they're not allowed to tell them what they saw. And I hang out and I wait until the adjuster leaves and then go ahead and close that loop with the customer. So I wait. If I haven't heard from the customer in 7 to 10 days or maybe 2 weeks, call and follow up and see if they've heard anything back. And then once I get that, I like them to send it to me. I like to be able to look at it. I do a quick calculation of how much they're paying per square to see how close it is to my retail, to see if I'm going to be able to do the job for what the insurance put in it. I used to just agree that I would do it for whatever it said, but I don't do that anymore because a lot of them are really bad. So, and then if it's short or no matter what, you're going to want to go through the scope and make sure that it has everything in there. And roofs are pretty simple. You go through, you know, you want to make sure there's tear off. You want to make sure they're putting shingles back. You want to see what waste factor they use for putting it back. You want to make sure that the steep charges are in there. Drip edge is a big one they leave off. You want to make sure drip edge is in there. You want to make sure that they got the right number of pipe jacks, that they got the right type of pipe jacks, because there's the 3-in-1s and then there's the lead. Cornice returns is a great one to add. And if you don't know what a cornice return is, I'm sure we'll throw a picture in here, but those really add a lot to a claim, especially some of these fancy houses that have, you know, 6 of them sometimes. It's a lot of money. Chimney flashing, a lot of times they'll want you to reuse it. Personally, I won't reuse chimney flashing because then I can't warranty it. And that I found when I did that's where all my warranties were coming from. So that can be a sticking point. And make sure that there's underlayment, make sure that they included haul off. A lot of times it's in the line item for tear off, but sometimes it isn't. And it says right there if it is or if it isn't. And you just want to make sure that everything's in there. If it's not in there, then that's when you're going to want to file a supplement. Once you get that insurance paperwork back, you've looked over it, you've made sure that all the items are in there, and there's usually some items that are missing. Most claims reports are written in Xactimate, but now there's another program called Symbility. I am not as familiar with Symbility as I am with Xactimate. I have members on my team who are. I don't actually do sales anymore, and so I'm not as well versed in Symbility. But so we have a subscription to Xactimate. We all share one subscription at the company. Some of us are self-taught. There's training classes out there where you can go and get certified. And I would say at my company, we're about half and half. I'm self-taught. I still haven't gotten my certification because I'm determined to go to Utah and ski when I do it, and it just never works out. So you want to get that subscription, and then what I do is I go in, I enter in their whole scope, every single line item, I put it in there exactly the way that they have it, and then I go ahead and add whatever items are missing. Things to check too, besides just the line items, you want to check the price list and make sure that they're using the right price list, especially like if the customer got their claim report some time ago. You want to make sure that you have the most updated pricing, because that can be a huge boost. And it should be the price list from the month that you actually do the work. Sometimes insurance companies will give you flack on that, but usually they agree with that. So if you have something from August of last year and now it's July of this year, you need to get the most recent price list. So as of making this video, I think the most recent price list is May of 2024, but who knows, maybe there's one for June. So I go ahead and write that up and then figure out how to send that to the insurance company. And every insurance company is different. State Farm is super easy. It's just an email. USAA, you go to a website, you get a special email, and it's just an email. And I go ahead and send that in. I always copy the customer on it. If they don't have email, I call them and tell them what I did, because they need to know. And if you can get your customer to go to the insurance company and fight for those items, they will have a lot more success than you will. They'll listen to their customer more than they'll listen to the contractor. And that means you're going to have to educate your customer. You're going to have to say, this is why I need this. Drip edge is code. Drip edge protects your fascia from rotting out. And tell them why they need the thing that you're submitting for. So then do you go ahead and put the roof on while you wait for the supplement to come back, or do you not? I think that varies from roof to roof. If there's enough money in it for me to make a profit, and I know that even if they say no to my supplement, that I'll be okay, generally I go ahead and schedule the roof and get it done, especially if if it's a storm roof and it's open and leaking and the customer needs it done, I go ahead. If it comes back, you know, my minimum is $425 a square for the type of shingle I need to put on, and the insurance only wrote it at $350, no, I don't go ahead and put the roof on. I wait to make sure that the insurance is going to be able to cover my costs. So that's a question for you and your owner, and what they're comfortable with and what they're not comfortable with. So once I get the scope of work from the insurance company and I have written the contract, and I try and make them match. If I'm going to supplement items, I put it right in the contract. I am going to supplement for drip edge, steep charges, chimney flashing, whatever it is, so that it's in there. My contract also makes very clear, both on the front page and in the terms and conditions on the back, that if there's an insurance supplement, we are expected to be paid any money for those supplements for work that we perform. Like sometimes I supplement stuff that we don't end up doing just to help the customer, like screens or something like that. But so for any work that we do, we expect to be paid whatever the supplement is. And then, real important, I go out and sit down with that customer again and walk them through, because there's a lot of confusion and they don't understand RCV and ACV and all that all the time. And you have to like show them what you're doing in the contract, how what you're putting on is better than what you're taking off, and just sit down and go through that with them. Don't just email them a contract and expect them to sign it. And just to be super clear, you should never ever take money for things that you didn't do. So a lot of times the claims that we're working have multiple trades on there, different items, and a lot of times we just do the roof and the gutters maybe and get out, and there's still HVAC or painting or whatever, and I go ahead and put that on my supplement so that it's all together. But I never take money for work that we didn't do. And also, like, if the insurance company is paying you to reflash the chimney and you reuse the old flashing, it's dishonest to take the money from that line item when you didn't actually do the work. Thanks for watching. If you have questions, go ahead and feel free to drop us a comment or watch part 1 or part 3 of this video series.